On the final, oh, that's really loud. For the final Sunday of the year. So good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Princeton. My name is Pauline Nyjander, and I'm filling in this Sunday for Reverend Bill and Reverend Jennifer, who are both off for the holidays. Whether you are here in person or joining us online on Zoom, we extend a special welcome to our visitors this morning. We are really glad that you are here. And if you're in the building and have not done so already, I invite you to stop by our welcome table after worship outside in Robinson Lounge. So the lounge just, so it's the table by the two rear doors there. And so that way we can answer any questions you may have or kind of get to know you a little bit better. We do have two announcements. The first one from our dear Margie.
This is kind of a strange announcement, but our dear friend Ted Elliott has done something wonderful for me for our departure. And that is he made this huge greeting card that's sitting out there on one of those tables. And I would love it if those of you who haven't signed it would do so. And if you see Ted in the neighborhood, just give him a big high five for me. Thank you.
Doesn't have to be as eloquent as John Hancock, but just a welcoming thank you to Margie for all the love and effort that she's put into this place over the last 19 years. So thank you, Margie. Our final announcement, the UU Princeton Rainbow Ministry invites you to a discussion of the most banned book in the United States. That discussion will take place on Sunday, January 19th in Foz Theater at 12 noon, and it will go until 1:30 p.m. The book is titled Gender Queer, a Memoir, and it recounts the journey of author Maya Kobabe from adolescence to adulthood and her exploration of gender identity and sexuality, with an ultimate identity choice outside of the gender binary. Books will be available in Robinson Lounge after the service, and the cost is $13, but scholarships are available. So if money is an option, is an issue, just be aware that shouldn't preclude you from being able to do this. So scholarships are available for that. The discussion and questions on January 19th will be led by our own Audrey and Elisa. Both of them are members of the Rainbow Ministry. And this program is part of the Rainbow Ministry's renewal of our Welcoming Congregation certification. So, you know, if you're still not sure, I know we've got me and a couple of other trans folk around here, but if you're still not sure about things about the transgender community, that's the type of thing to go to learn more, okay? And it'll be a safe environment that great folks will help lead that discussion. And now, let us settle into our seats as we gather here together on this Sunday in the spirit of the principles we believe in. We gather here together in the spirit of acceptance and in the worth and dignity of those around us as well as ourselves. We gather here together in the spirit of community and to celebrate the diversity that makes us who we are, human. It is through our shared humanity that we work together to build a community that celebrates the gifts and the diversity that each of us brings here. And as a woman, a lesbian, and a trans woman, I am grateful to be welcomed here as I am. And whether you be a guest or a longtime member, I hope that whoever you are, wherever you are on your life's journey, please know that you are welcome here. And now let us worship together.
We spend January 1st walking through our lives, room by room, drawing up a list of work to be done, cracks to be patched. Maybe this year, to balance the list, we ought to walk through the rooms of our lives, not looking for flaws, but for potential. Ellen Goodman.
So on this last Sunday of the year, I wanted to do something a little bit different in terms of ritual. As you entered, you should have received a pencil and a piece of flash paper. And if someone doesn't have one or both, please let us know so we can make sure we get it to you. So on this particular slip of flash paper, we are going to be writing words and ideas or infusing our intentions into the paper of the things that we are fearful of in the future that we don't have control over. The things that cause us anxiety and stress that we need to let go to our individual higher powers, whoever or whatever they may be for us. Then, in a few moments, when you're done writing, feel free to come up as you normally would, and you'll place the flash paper into one of the bowls, and then Lauren or myself will light it on fire for you. So just pretty quick, so don't be surprised. I know the first time I did it, it kind of surprised me, so don't be surprised. But then this way, hopefully, we can turn over our fears and our anxieties to someone else or something else so that we can start the new year a little bit lighter and we can focus on the things we can change. So Sue, if you could play a little bit of music, and then as folks are willing and able, feel free to come up. To the great divine, please accept these things that caused us fear and anxiety that we have uplifted to you to hold. Please allow us to feel a bit lighter so that we may begin the process of focusing on the things we can change. Help us to see a path forward with those things we can change so that we may live our lives to their fullest, so that we may create the communities that we hope to see in the new year in our world. Blessed be, and amen.
So in your order of service, it says reading. There is a reading. I was sick over the weekend, so I didn't have time to come up with a reflection, but this morning I woke up and had some energy, so you get a reflection too. So here's a reflection. In 1999, I made a big decision to leave my current career path. It was less of a career path, but more of a follow whatever opportunities land in front of you. Although it was definitely person-centric, social work, health and life insurance, customer service, instead, I made a leap to the world of information technology. My whole life, problem solving came easily to me, which is partly why I didn't pursue it in college. I had this misguided sense that work was supposed to be hard. So if I enjoyed something or it was too easy, I should definitely pursue something else. Don't ask, doesn't make sense to me either. So at any rate, in 1999, there was an opportunity I felt I had to take up. The Chubb Institute had a program to help people change careers and enter the information technology field while providing experience. The Top Gun program, you would take a 4-month intensive training program at no cost. They gave you a little stipend to live on, and then they would place you with an employer where you would gain experience and then they would be paid for your services. It was a win-win for everybody. No cost to the trainee, the employer would get cheap labor, and the Chubb would have gains for a small investment. Now, if you all remember back to 1999, there was a sizable looming fear of what was to come. Many vital computer programs had all been written with a 2-digit year. And as the new year loomed, Y2K was coming, there was this sense of dread. Everything was going to crash. The world was coming to an end. Well, it didn't come to an end. And in fact, when I was done with my training, actually, I jumped ahead, sorry. Decision for my class at that point was to train us in COBOL. This was a really old program. Those of you who are computer programmers know about this. But yes, it was from the past. And when, all went well, I excelled at my studies. I finished every exercise in minutes, and it took others days to finish. It was great. So my new future was coming. I was placed at AT&T. It was a great opportunity for a little while. Prior to my actual start date, AT&T suffered layoffs. My new position was eliminated. I was told by Chubb they were unable to find a position for me, and apparently Y2K was overblown. Programming issues were corrected. Okay. Anyway, it was all great. Long story short, I did land on my feet. I had a few smaller positions and then got a job with John Wiley & Sons, where I was there for 15 years. So it was all ended up well. So one thing I have learned over these years is that in information technology, there is no such thing as certainty. I've been a web developer, a manager. I was outsourced. I started over again in business intelligence, then business analysis, then project management. Now I'm a manager again. I've watched in-house developed applications be replaced by packaged solutions. And now I'm watching our main employee relationship management solution, PeopleSoft, it's getting switched out. And in 10 years, I know this is computer terms, it's going to be a long time. In 10 years, we're going to have a new system again. So, and artificial intelligence is out there. It's a new constant. I have no idea what the years to come will bring. The only thing I know for sure is that we have to adapt. The easy move is to hoard paper towels and canned food and hide in our basements. My house even has a bomb shelter. For real. We do. That, however, will not shape our future. Instead, we need to face the future and be proactive in what is best for us all. Y2K was not what we all feared. It's time to face the unknown and bend towards the positive. We can do this together. That's that reflection. Thank you. And now I have the reading that was supposed to come. So the following comes from the pen of Howard Thurman and his books, Meditations of the Heart. There is something which seems utterly final about the end of the year. It means that we are 1 year older. This is a fact definite and inexorable. We are 12 months closer to the end of our physical time span, 1 year closer to death. It means that in some important ways, we are taken farther from or brought closer to the goal of our living, whatever that goal may be. It means that some crucial questions which were unanswered 12 months ago have been finally and decidedly answered, and whatever doubts there may have been about the result are completely removed. Now we know. It means that we are in fuller or lesser possession of ourselves and our powers than ever before. During the passing of 12 months, experiences have come into our lives which revealed certain things about ourselves which we have not suspected. Some new demand was made upon us, which caused us to behave in a manner that was strange to our established pattern of life, and we felt shocked, surprised, enraged, or delighted that such was possible for us. We met someone with whom we built the kind of relationship which opened up to us new worlds of wonder and magic, which were completely closed to us a year ago. It means that we are wiser by far than we were at year's beginning. The circling series of events upon whose bosom we have been wafted, cut away from our pretensions, stripping us bare of much beneath which we have hidden from ourselves. When we saw ourselves revealed, there was born a wisdom about life and its meaning that makes us say with all our hearts this day that life is good and not evil. It means that we have been able to watch as if bewitched, while the illumined finger of God pointed out a path through the surrounding darkness where no path lay. Exposed to our surprised gaze, a door where we were sure there was only a blank wall, revealed the strong arms and assuring voices of friends when we were sure that in our plight we were alone, utterly and starkly alone. All of these meanings and many more counsel us that because life is dynamic and we are deeply alive, the end of the year can mean only the end of the year, not the end of life, not the end of us, not even the end of time. We turn our faces toward the year being born with a riding hope that will carry us into the days ahead with courage and with confidence. The old year dies, the new year is being born. Long live life.
Many of you may have heard me reference snippets of my life's journey here and there in sermons, as well as in conversations that we may have had together. For those of you that have known me for a while and have been kind enough to listen to me preach, or you were kind enough to listen to my call to worship this morning, this next bit won't come as a surprise to you. Now, for those that do not happen to know me and missed my words at the beginning of the service, I am a transgender woman. My journey into the person that you see standing before you here at the pulpit began in fits and starts. The first instances of the authentic me peeking their head around the corner of that ever so slightly ajar closet door was when I was just a child. In pre-kindergarten, I was someone that found myself questioning why I had been expected to be the dad when I wanted to be the mom while playing house. Moments of the real, authentic me came out a few minutes at a time, but each instance caused the authentic me to be pushed back into the closet as the world is and was a scary place, and I was not ready yet. She would continue to poke her head out of the closet here and there over the years until finally, in 2003, when she, meaning me, took a chance. I took a chance and began to speak with someone I cared deeply about the things that I had been feeling since my childhood and about the things that I had been doing in secret and who I felt myself to be. The closet door did not fully close this time. Over the next few years, the woman that stands before you today would slowly, very slowly emerge from the closet. The social norms and societal expectations used to keep people in neat and tidy boxes for someone else to understand were some of the biggest barriers to overcome still. In short, I feared stepping out of the predefined box that I had been placed into by social constructs due to anxiety and uncertainty over how those same constructs would treat me if I was no longer inside one of those predefined boxes. But when the pain becomes great enough, many of us will walk through fire and back again in order to ease or erase the discomfort. In 2011, that closet door flung itself wide open for the last time as the pain had become too great. The person I was and am wanted out of the closet, and I began the process of walking into the unknown, uncertain as to what may come and who this woman will turn out to be. I began taking hormones and doing electrolysis 2 years earlier. I legally changed my name. I took a big gamble at a career I had been working to build up for 6 years at the state by coming out at my place of employment. Changing one's whole wardrobe was up there in the realm of anxiety-inducing moments, but truly the most terrifying thing of all, the thing that was filled with the most uncertainty and fear was the process of coming out to family and friends. I had no real way of knowing exactly what their reaction would be. Oh, sure, I could speculate and guess to my heart's content as to how someone would respond, but one truly does not know how things will turn out until you start to put one foot in front of the other, move forward, and begin the process. Opening up one's self with coming out is to lay bare a part of ourselves that is akin to opening Pandora's box. Once open, it cannot be closed again, and we never know what the consequences of opening the box will be. A truly fearful proposition. We are approaching a similar situation this new year with the coming of the 2025 calendar year and the next 4 years. Many of us find ourselves in places of anxiety as the things that we have worked hard for over the years or decades of our lives seem to be hanging in the balance yet again. I was not surprised to see a recent article online that I, like many of you, have decided to turn off or stop reading the news of late, or at the very least, we severely curtailed our intake of news media for the anxiety it was inducing in us and the fear that the next 4 years of our lives will have us asking damage report every single morning. When it seems that the politicians, the corporate oligarchs, and the vast majority of those in power seem to hold values and principles that run completely counter to our own: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, generosity, and love. Well, I can see why many of us have begun to struggle to make sense of the world and possibly even questioning the very principles and ideas that we hold dear. One of my favorite poets, in where I feel like she has an answer to all of life's mysteries and problems, is that of Mary Oliver. The poem titled "I Worried" comes to mind when we are in these particular moments where the unknown and uncertainty of the future seem particularly daunting. I worried a lot. Will the garden grow? Will the rivers flow in the right direction? Will the earth turn as it was taught? And if not, how shall I correct it? Was I right? Was I wrong? Will I be forgiven? Can I do better? Will I ever be able to sing? Even the sparrows can do it, and I am, well, hopeless. Is my eyesight fading, or am I just imagining it? Am I going to get rheumatism, lockjaw, dementia? Finally, I saw that worrying had come to nothing, and I gave it up and took my old body and went out into the morning and sang. In the Al-Anon family groups, which is a 12-step group for friends and family members of alcoholics, of which I had been a member a number of years ago, we used to rely on the excerpt of a prayer that was written by American theologian Reinhold Niebuhr that may also give us some solace as we take our first brave and tentative steps into the unknown that is the coming year. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It was probably those words of Niebuhr that resonated with me most on my transformative journey out of the closet, for it was in learning to let go of the fears and anxieties of the future, sort of like we did in our ritual earlier, and for me, learning to trust in a newly budding relationship that I was forming with the divine, that allowed me to find the courage and strength to get through the challenges that I had to get through. As I mentioned before, the pain had finally become great enough, and I began to take my transformative journey forward. But it would take heeding those words of Niebuhr and Mary Oliver that allowed me to become unstuck from where I had found myself, because worrying about the future is like sitting in a rocking chair. It gives us something to do, but we're not really going anywhere. Having overcome those things that were holding me back, I was able to find a number of incredible and positive things that I had not foreseen. A former Marine sniper informing me of his support by letting me know that if anyone gave me a problem, he would give them a problem. Friends and family that accepted me for who I was, and in fact stated that they preferred this new, happier me. Living a life as my authentic self can be filled with joy and happiness. And the knowledge that I accomplished something incredibly difficult and managed to come out on the other side. I learned that there was nothing else out there that I could not accomplish if I had set my mind to it. But this is life and not a Hallmark movie. In spite of all of the positive things that have emerged out of this transformative process, there were some negative things that did happen as a result of this journey. There were coworkers and family members that I have not spoken with since coming out. Misogyny has reared its unexpected head on more than one occasion, and the occasional transphobia that had come directly across my path made my life that much more difficult than it needed to be. And the transgender community that I am a part of has found itself under the scrutinizing and scapegoating gaze of those that would like life to be placed and organized in those neat little boxes with labels of their own creation. The upcoming year has the possibility to allow for so many bad things to happen, but it is an opportunity to let great things happen as well. Positive things that we may not have foreseen because we have been so incredibly focused on the negatives that we expect to happen. And while we may wish that this was as easy enough to channel the words of Elsa from Disney's Frozen with a nice rendition of Let It Go when it comes to the upcoming anxieties and fears that we have of the new year, they are very real fears and anxieties. But they cannot be the only thing that we focus on when it comes to the coming year. Good things will continue to happen because of and in spite of the negative things that are happening in the world. Good things that people like you and me work to create. And they don't have to be grandiose ideas and actions for them to be considered good. And some of these good things may very well be unexpected. If you're struggling to see what sorts of good things we can create, you know what? That's okay. Maybe it's something artistic that we can do as our way of putting to a physical medium the voice of a community that we may belong to as a form of resistance. Or maybe it's something as simple as knitting a blanket for someone in need. Maybe it's lending your voice to speak out in favor of the things that we hold dear as Unitarian Universalists. Or maybe it is in using your voice to help create and foster the musical talents of members of a congregation for the last 19 years. Maybe it's lending our talents in a way that helps to educate someone underprivileged in a new ability. Or maybe it's lending our talents and resources to mow the lawn of a neighbor who may be struggling. And from these things that we create and do, it is these things that create the unexpected things in the world around us, the good that we are hoping to see. It is with these acts that the unexpected good things arise and help build and shape a community that cares for one another. The world is and continues to be a scary place, but at the same time, we have the opportunity to live our lives as Unitarian Universalists, and we have an opportunity in the coming year and each and every subsequent year to live into our values so we can create the good gift of community together. For it is this gift of community, this good gift of community, that will help us in the coming years and years to come. Blessed be, and amen. And at the end of our hour, we extinguish our chalice, knowing that its light carries us until we gather again. And for our benediction, may love and compassion guide you in all that you do. May wisdom help you to seek responsible truths and meanings. May inspiration lead you to new places, and may the hope you bring be a beacon for others. May you share your beautiful gifts with the world. Blessed be, and amen.